This is a softbox, whereas this is a standard reflector. If you were to take a portrait, which of these two modifiers would you choose? I bet you'd go for this one, right? In this video, we'll talk about why soft light is the queen of portrait lighting. Stay with me, because it's going to be really interesting. What's up, guys? I'm Emanuele, a portrait photographer in Warsaw, and today I want to explore with you why I just said soft light is the queen of portraits. It might seem like a bold statement, but what exactly do I mean? Well, if we surveyed most commercial portrait photographers and asked which lighting tools they use most often, we'd almost always find umbrellas and softboxes. It's less likely, however, that tools like Fresnel lenses, hard reflectors, or flashes without any diffusion, so-called bare flashes, would be mentioned. And there's a reason for that. Softboxes are everywhere. In recent years, they've become really accessible. Before that, umbrellas dominated the scene, and they still do. Soft light by its nature is broad, right? The larger the light source, the softer the light will be. This makes it extremely versatile. And that's exactly why softboxes, umbrellas, and soft light in general reign supreme in the world of portraiture. But let's stop for a moment and ask ourselves what we're really looking for in a portrait. Mind you, I'm talking about commercial portraits, meaning those situations where someone hires me to take a portrait for a specific reason. For example, a photo for LinkedIn or a magazine editorial, an anniversary, and so on. The main goal of a commercial portrait is to showcase the person at their best. It's a bit like when you walk into a fancy restaurant or a beauty salon. You go to the bathroom to wash your hands, look in the mirror with the lights around it, those spectacular mirrors, and think, wow, I look really good. Why? Because it's uniform light. The skin looks smoother and imperfections are minimized. And that's exactly what we want to achieve with the camera. If a person has small skin imperfections, a few wrinkles, or maybe a bit of a belly, our job is to manage the pose and lighting so as not to emphasize these details, but rather to showcase the subject in their best form. Why? Because maybe they're details that the subject would prefer not to see in the photo. Of course, it's essential to interact with the client before the shoot to understand what they want, but here I'm speaking in general. Our goal is to show it in the best light, so to speak. And that's what we're looking for when we take portraits. Now let's talk about the qualities of soft light. You've probably often heard the terms soft light and hard light. Maybe you already have an idea of what they mean, but for the purposes of this video, and actually for photography in general, I want to clarify the concept. Soft light is created when the light source is large, that is, larger than the subject being photographed, the one in the photo. The larger the source is relative to the subject, so in relation to the subject, the softer the light will be. But why is it called soft? The term comes from the transition between light and shadow. The light hits one part of the face evenly, while the shadow is the darker part. If this transition between light and shadow is gradual and smooth, then it's soft light. Sometimes it happens that someone shoots with a flash mounted directly on the camera and thinks they have soft light because they don't see a shadow. I mean, on the face, they don't see any obvious shadows at all. But in reality, if we look closely, we notice that the shadow is there and its transition is very abrupt. Just look here under the neck. What does all this mean for us? Soft light, thanks to its gradual transition between light and shadow, shows fewer details and softens the skin texture. Let's take an example. If we illuminate a sheet of sandpaper with a very soft light, it will appear almost flat. If, on the other hand, we illuminate the sandpaper with a hard light, we'll clearly see every bump, every pore. The same principle applies to skin in portraits. So how do these two concepts connect? Our goal is to show people at their best and minimize imperfections. We want the skin to look even and smooth. Soft light helps us with exactly that because the gradual transition reduces the visible texture on the skin. It also gives us more room to maneuver, making it easier to get a pleasing portrait without highlighting unwanted details. Imperfections, wrinkles, skin shine, all these aspects can be softened thanks to soft light. For this reason, When it comes to portraits, choosing soft light is always a smart and safe solution. And that's why in the previous video, which I'll put here and also in the description, I insisted that to start with, a softbox should be the only modifier you own. If our goal is to eliminate as many imperfections as possible, soft light helps us do that. Using it already gets us halfway there, right from the start. This way we get a result as close to perfection as possible directly in camera, minimizing the need for post-production. And that's exactly why soft light tends to be the primary choice for portraits. Now, those who know my work are probably thinking, what about hard light? Because yes, I also love using hard light in portraits. The beauty dish is my favorite modifier. Unlike soft light, hard light is used to highlight details. It enhances depth and skin texture. But when does it make sense to use it in portraits? Well, you have to be aware of the effect you want to achieve. For example, if we're photographing someone with a thick beard or an older person with many wrinkles and we want to emphasize those details, then hard light is perfect. Or if we're working with a beauty model with incredibly smooth and even skin, hard light can work great because it accentuates the brightness and structure without any issues. The skin is perfect, but most people don't have skin like that. And if we use a hard light like a beauty dish or a reflector on someone with small imperfections, we'll end up having to do a lot of retouching in post-production. And why make life harder if it's not necessary? So can hard light be used for portraits? Absolutely, yes, but with the right subject. Should soft light be used for portraits in most cases? Yes. That said, I don't want you to think that you should always and only use soft light. That's not the point. My goal with these videos, with these tutorials I share here, is to understand the reason for certain choices. I want you to understand the rules, and yes, I'm doing air quotes with my fingers, rules, okay? So that then you can consciously break them and use them to your advantage. Can hard light produce extraordinary portraits? Yes. Is hard light one of my favorite ways to shoot portraits? Absolutely, yes. Is it a safe choice that always guarantees the desired result? No. And that's the real question. We have to choose the type of light that works best for the person in front of us. We have to consider our vision of them, but also their vision of themselves, the one they want to see represented in the portrait. And then we have to deliver the result, because that's our job. We're here to make the client happy, to make them feel their best, whether it's with soft light or hard light or any kind of lighting. And you? What kind of light do you prefer in your portraits? Let me know in the comments. Please, if you liked the video, leave a like, it's really important, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any upcoming photography content. And I'll see you again very soon in the next video. Bye.